Hello, good day, good morning, good afternoon, good night, whatever you are listening to this podcast episode, wherever, whenever. I am so excited that you're here. Today, I am doing an episode all about everything I'm working on when it comes to pre-retreat prep and how I'm shifting from business hustle and business focuses to the hostess mindset and the things that I need to do now to prepare for the retreat, the things I need to prepare in business, in even my family, what I need to prepare for the retreat. So when I'm at Inspired Retreat, which is just a couple of weeks away, about 3-ish weeks away from recording this episode, I can make sure when I arrive on site, I am feeling just ready to go, ready and excited and warm. Like when you think of the word hostess, you think of someone who's very warm and genuine and welcoming and just really wants to make your experience a great one. And that's what I want to be when I have my attendees arrive to my events and my retreats. And so it requires us doing some things ahead of time. Okay. It requires us even doing some different shifts in our mindset from the things that are important in our business or priorities now to being fully present when I am on site, because that's how truly I can definitely lean into the event being successful. Is that if I am present, if I am having a good time, if I'm not, crazy running around with my pants on fire, right? I can actually really contribute to the event in a really meaningful way and to the transformation that I want my attendees to have. So that's what today's episode is about. I'm just going to give you a little peek behind the scenes of what I'm thinking about, what I'm doing, what I'm planning, what I'm prepping. So I hope you are ready to jump into this content. So let's go ahead and get right into this. Well, right now, like as I said, is I'm just a few weeks away. And right now, the thing I'm thinking about is having a get it done kind of attitude and kind of mindset as I'm making decisions. Because, I don't know about you, but I love to think about things. I love to be indecisive about all kinds of things. And it's not, it really comes from a genuine place of, I just want to make sure this one's really, really good. Like, this is really, really what I want. This is really what I imagined. I'm a very visual person. I'm very good. I'm one of those people who can see things in crystal clear detail in my head of how things should look or how they can like unfold or the experience. And like, so I'm always trying to close that gap and finding the things that how my head thinks it should be and how it should be pictured. And so I've been doing a lot of ordering of things, a lot of prep around the swag bags, around different gifting experiences during the retreat. I'm thinking of the tablescapes and the decor, going in even deeper on the theme because I like each of my retreats to have a common thread or theme that we carry out through each of the days and each of the different ways and little small details, maybe in the workbooks or little messages that they might see along the way. And so I'm thinking about all of those things. But more importantly, I'm making decisions. And so yesterday, my credit card definitely got a lot of work as I was just placing so many orders, all within budget, though. That's what feels really good. In fact, sometimes what can happen when it comes to ordering the last minute things like for maybe swags or welcome gifts, all at one time, it can feel like a lot. But I felt that moment of relief when I went into my spreadsheet and plugged in all my numbers, and I'm like, nope, I'm right on track. I'm doing great with a great profitability and a great room for some other special little things. And so feels good. And it's because I have these tools in place that can make me feel like I'm basically filling in all the gaps, checking all the boxes that I need to do in this last month before retreat. Another thing that happens right now is I'm getting ready for the retreat time. When I was talking about how right now I have some business things going on in addition to the retreat, but as we get closer, my schedule is actually getting more and more lean. And so I had the opportunity, I had some new coaching clients that were interested in working with me one-on-one, but I knew looking at my calendar that I wasn't going to be able to be my best self in this entire month of April. And not really my best self, because I think this is a great version of me I'm being right now, but I couldn't give it the support and the focus that I knew it required, especially when I was going to be out for a full week for this retreat. And so I had to push back on some new clients and said, hey, if you want to start in May, we can absolutely do that. But now wouldn't be as good of a time to jump into all the things until I can give you like really the attention that you deserve. And yeah, so it felt, it's interesting when you're in a spot in your business when you can do that, because I can remember the early years of my business that I couldn't always do that. I needed to say yes to every single client that came through my doors because I needed it financially, maybe for something, or maybe my ego needed it and I didn't want to turn anyone down because I wanted the experience or whatever it may be. But now I'm in a different level of my business where I'm like, if they really want to work with me, and they want this, right? They want this outcome that, I can maybe support them in. They're willing to wait. They're willing to start in May. And so that feels good on my part that I can do that and feel confident that either they'll wait for me, or if they don't, then they weren't the right fit in the first place. And so that feels like a good place to be. So as I said, my calendar is more lean. I actually have the week before the retreat kind of really blocked off. I'm not doing any kind of coaching calls in any of my programs. Really, that week is for me to be wrapping up all the things, getting boxes and totes. I like to use Rubbermaid totes and have everything labeled. And so I've got everything ready to go that specific week, but it means I've got to really clear my schedule, both in business and in my family. Other things I'm working on right now is pre-retreat communications. And so I love connecting with attendees ahead of time and bringing them together to connect. And so we've actually got the Voxer group going. If you're not familiar with Voxer, it's a free app you can download. It functions as a group text messaging platform and as voice. Though in this kind of situation, I like it when people are using more text and kind of using it as a group texting thread. Has so many features. I use it in a lot of my different programs. And so I've actually experimented with that app and that communication style in the last couple of years. Traditionally, I used Facebook groups. I still think Facebook groups can be great if you have maybe a longer runway, but I didn't open up this group until the month of because I wanted to wait. And I feel like people like it. For Facebook, the algorithm can mean that the messages don't get seen or the group doesn't get seen like it used to in years past. So Voxer has been kind of great for that. We're also doing some getting to know you questions to kind of build up anticipation and building community. And so I have our retreat concierge, Kendall, getting some of those conversations going. And I'm also just helping along with that idea of building more comfort and trust. There's some other things that we're doing. And so I just mentioned Kendall. Kendall actually is making herself available for any one-to-one calls in case anyone has any, wants some one-to-one attention. If they don't want to do it over Voxer with her, they can actually, get on a call, ask any questions or any needs that they have. And so we've made her available for that as well. And so I've actually introduced her as the team member that can help with any kind of logistics. I actually have 2 team members that are assisting me at this event because there's over 24 of us. And so for that kind of ratio, I like to have 2 people that are on hand to just help support anything, to help with setups, to help with just, overall background things that are going on. And so both of them are on the Voxer thread too. So they're already getting to know all of the attendees, getting excited as well. So my goal is when we, step foot at Inspired Retreat, it feels easy for everyone to already, feel a comfort level and to feel ready to go to really jump into everything. And so the next steps that I have in front of me that are on my schedule for today and for tomorrow is to kind of really tighten up our timeline in our schedule. So luckily I have a great template for that. And so I'm able to do that fairly quickly because the format has not changed. What does change, I will tell you, because I've hosted Inspired Retreat in both different seasons, so spring and fall. More typically in the last couple of years, just once a year in the spring, in case you were interested. I know there's people that are always asking. And so I time things a lot by sunrise and sunsets too, of knowing how much daylight I have available to me. And so that helps me with planning for dinners and cocktail hours and just, general timing of things. And so I have to do a little adjustments on that. And I'm also thinking about what is the welcome session going to be? How am I going to change things a little bit? I always like to do just something a little bit different. It's not just copy and paste every time I host this retreat. And so I'm thinking about what my slides might be and starting to work on those as well, taking ones from previous years and just kind of adjusting them a little bit to go with the retreat's theme. I'm thinking about some of those initial activities when the attendees are getting together and how we're bringing everyone together and doing that initial interactions and conversation starters. Like I'm just kind of thinking of those initial things that are going on. And so in order to do all of this, as I'm explaining all of this, my brain in the back was thinking, oh man, like someone who has never done this before could be like, I had no idea this much goes into retreats. Like I had no idea these are all the things that I had to do. And I always want to like preface and say a couple of things. One, like the first time you do a retreat is an exercise. It is an experiment, and it helps you see what works, what doesn't work for your own delivery style, for your own type of style of how you want your retreat to go. And so I have so many amazing tools and resources and templates and everything you can swipe, but you get to decide how little or how much that you use those tools if that feels good for you. And so you can really customize things to make them feel for the type of vibe and the type of energy that you want to provide. I am of the type that of inspired retreat for this type of format. This is much different than the format and style of, say, my beach retreat for my Coterie Mastermind. It's a different experience, a different vibe. Inspired retreat has more structure to it, has more like notes that I want to hit on every single day. And so it just has more logistical things that I'm thinking of and things that I need to plan for. I am also thinking about checklists right now. And so already I have my packing list going right now. I have my shopping list for the week of, because there's some things that I pick up in the day of or the day before, just some like fun drinks that we'll have like in downtime, other little things that I like to do. So there's just like, and some flowers, things like that. So those are the things that I'm doing on the day of. But then I'm also have a great packing list, and I have all of my totes actually labeled, because when I hand over a Rubbermaid tote to one of my team members, they don't know what was in it. You know, they didn't pack it. And so it makes it really easy for them to know, okay, this one goes in this room. This one goes over here. And it just makes it just so much easier when you arrive and you unpack. We have a really tight turn when we arrive at Inspired Retreat. We have about 3 hours. That's it. 3 hours before the first attendees arrive. So if you've ever seen pictures of Inspired Retreat, you're like, wow, that's amazing, right? And so in order to do that for that tight timeline, I have to have things like just really well documented, and everybody feels like they know what we're doing, has a task when we first arrive. And so the last thing that I was going to tell you that I'm thinking of is that I'm getting a team meeting scheduled with my 2 team members where we're going to go over all of these things. We're going to go through the schedule in detail. We're going to go through the packing list in detail, through, you know, any questions, like, so everyone knows every single day what we're doing, what needs to be set up, and everyone feels really prepared and ready to go. So they also can be great hostesses. They can be an extension of me, and they feel really informed. They don't have to say, I have no idea, let me go ask Amber. They already know the answer and can confidently answer that as well. So that's what's going on right now. This is how I can be the hostess when the mostest. This is what I have to do in the weeks leading up to it, just really getting really prepared, keeping my schedule really lean so I can be focused, having that get it done attitude, making decisions, crossing things off, and really like getting our attendees excited through our Voxer channel, through other things. We're reminding them of our packing list, so they feel really like they're packing intentionally and have even a little bit of room in their suitcases for some goodies. So just this is what it looks like here over my world. And if you can't tell, I'm smiling right now because I'm really excited. I'm really excited. I feel like this is when all the fun begins and it all comes together, and it's going to be fulfilling for me, and it's going to be successful for the attendees and for me. And I couldn't ask for anything more. So thank you so much for tuning in to this mini episode of Behind the Scenes. If you love this, I've been getting so much great feedback on all of these retreats episodes, on the Mastering Retreats workshop. Go check those replays out. We have them still up. You can check out. I actually introduced a bonus fourth workshop now because these first three are so well received and they're packed with so much good content to help you design, to help you book and plan your next event or retreat for your business. So number 4 now is going to be about bringing everything together. I'm actually going to show you all of the organization, all the planning tools, just kind of like a little peek under the hood on all the things that I use to do my retreats and events, and give you an inside look at Invite and Delight, my retreat planning program that is opening doors soon. So definitely be on the lookout for that. Go and check that out if you're listening to this episode later when we have doors open. I am so excited to help all these amazing business owners really go and have this type of passion and excitement and energy and enthusiasm for bringing retreats and live events to their business. Because I promise you, once you do one, you're going to be hooked. I promise you, it's going to be pretty awesome. All right, friend, wherever you are today, I hope you bloom and grow exactly as you are. Take care.